provided some notes about what I might say. But I haven't followed them because, well, frankly, they were so esoteric that I didn't quite understand them. And although there are people here who think I specialise in talking about things that I know nothing about, and I don't want to do it tonight. But after all, you're all here to share your knowledge, and your experiences. And I understand there are delegates from 9 countries, all over here tonight. And you're here to discuss and to compare and to listen. Not to me, but to the music and the music in the idiom and the music inspired by one of the greatest entertainers of the 20th century. But this evening all started off with some confusion. Jeff phoned me in March, and he wanted to make sure I'd be free to be here today. It was a very bad phone line. We were talking about 10 minutes, and it suddenly dawned on me that he was talking about Duke Ellington in Woking, and I thought he was talking about the Duke of Edinburgh in Woking. And I literally wasn't on the same wavelength as him, but however, all was made clear, and it's now my great pleasure to welcome you all here to Woking to celebrate this 21st conference about Duke. Now, Woking's quite a small town compared to other places that you've been to. It makes up for its small size, though, as you've seen, by its energy and by its enthusiasm. You'll have seen the town centre is in the middle of a major refurbishment. But as a tourist in Rome said, when they saw the Colosseum, it will be great when it's finished. This is a wonderful year to be in England. With the Queen's Diamond Jubilee and the London Olympics, we have so much to celebrate. Now, Shakespeare wrote, "If music be the food of love, play on." And listening to Duke's earlier music, and music that we've been reminded of by the film shown on the screens this evening, it's easy to imagine that he subscribed to that view. His autobiography, Music is My Mistress, which was published just a year before he died, it describes his drive and his purpose. His music makes other people happy. It made him happy too, because he certainly enjoyed the best things in life to the full. But of course, for the first 3 decades of his band, he was constrained by the 3-minute limit imposed by those dreadful 10-inch 78 RPM records, and that was all that was available. So his music was, to most people, essentially dance music. And since people seem to want to dance for about 10 minutes at a time, it usually involved 3 numbers. But it was this dance music that fueled the riotous years of the 20s until the great crash of the 30s. And it's no coincidence, I think, that in our current rather gloomy economic climate, the 20s-themed party seems to be very popular again. But Duke's band, combined with some competitors like Benny Goodman and Count Basie, ruled the roost. The only English band that I can recall from that time, Ted Heath, was, unlike the Prime Minister of the same name, too big, too brassy, too noisy, and too showy. But the arrival of the long play record changed so much. It cut out the hiss and crackle. It played for over 20 minutes. But it wasn't available to many people. When introduced in the 1950s, I remember an LP record cost 42 shillings and sixpence, equivalent to about 40 or 50 pounds now. So you really had to want one to buy one. But even so, Duke's recordings sold like hotcakes, just tribute to a great entertainer. But the LP gave him the opportunity to explore longer works, and this he did. He didn't gain the acclaim for these that was expected. We shall hear one tonight, and we can decide for ourselves whether the music critics of that time were too harsh. Duke was an inspiration. He was a charismatic and brilliant pianist. He inspired others like Dave Brubeck, whose son Darius is such a very, very welcome guest in Woking. But most of those he inspired went on to compose and perform in a rather different genre to Duke. It's hard to find that the modern great artist, any of those, who didn't at some time fall under his spell. But it was possibly his musical gentleness, his lightness of touch, that was his greatest contribution. to his fame. He was able to communicate this to others who were there to continue and advance jazz. I think Duke wanted his music to be called American music. I don't think he did himself justice. Your presence here today clearly classifies it as international music. So, welcome indeed. Welcome to all the performers here this evening. Welcome to the Augmented Guildhall Jazz Band and the singers under their director Martin Hathaway that Jeff has already referred to. And indeed, welcome to the international jazz star, Darius Brubeck. But thank you all to everyone for coming to Woking, for making this great personal commitment to be here. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful conference and continue to have a wonderful evening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.